heavy. I be in the zone, gazing at the walls, depressed, digging the bone. They take it personal, but only your mind if you can understand what a nigga feeling. 41st till I die, motherfuckers. I'm still breathing you with mud, so we full bread. You ain't my dog, trying to infiltrate the clique issue. I get with you into that on a later note. We overdose every day to death, we so close. I'm trying to tell these cats, but I let them do their thing. Ready for the bad news till the phone ring. Son is dead now anyway, over my head. Seeking revenge, son, on your behalf, trying to laugh out the drill guns. Still guns, play the hum, for real sons. For you motherfucking home.
Hello everyone, hope everyone is doing well. Let me see if this is all working correctly. Okay, let's see the chat, the stream. Okay, should be working nicely. So hello everyone, welcome to another live stream. And as you can see, I have a bit of a different, hey Leslie, how are you doing? I have a bit of a different layout in TradingView. So I changed some colors around. I think this looks much cleaner. If you're interested in the colors, here is the symbol colors. So basically just blue and red. And for the canvas, this is the deep navy blue. Okay, so the canvas color is the deep navy blue, and the indicator that I'm using for all of these lines, if anyone is interested, so the indicator is this one, GT recent high low. Okay, that's the indicator for the lines. Elafi, hey, how are you? Leslie is doing good, nice. I'm doing well as well. Yeah, this chart layout is much better, much more modern, better for marketing as well, because it looks a bit more sleek. So if anyone has any questions before we start, I have my chat open on the side. Any questions, any chart requests, make sure you put it on there and I'll be happy to take a look. First one on the list is gonna be NJ. Let me give you the game plan for today. So I have two strategies. I have the fundamental strategy. Currently I have 5 instruments on there, okay? Then I have the first strategy, the OG strategy, purely price action, purely technical analysis. I have 6 currency pairs. And then I have the general watch list, main instruments that most people are trading. This is what I have, okay? Leslie says silver request. Sure, we're gonna do silver. So we will do silver, but first let's do NJ and then we can do silver because I do have a trade running on the New Zealand yen. So from this point right here, and it's a 90 pip stop loss. Okay, so we put 900 here. Currently running around 1.4 R, okay? And at the high, it was running around 2.3. Damn, we're in quite a bit of a retrace now, but that's okay. Let me see if I covered it in the last live stream, this entry. I don't think I did. So this is the entry from last week. Hey Traveler, what's up? The black Zentum shirt. Yeah. See, let me just see if you guys can see it. This is the one. Okay. So if anyone wants to get the shirt, you can get it on our website. Okay, so it's zentumtrading.com. Zentumtrading.com. And you go to the merch store, you can get yourself a shirt. Or if you've been with us for more than, I think it's 3 months, you get a free shirt, okay? So let me break this down why I entered right here. Okay, Traveler says black, please. So Charles, if you haven't yet received the shirt and you've been with us for more than 3 months, definitely. So reach out to support, okay? Reach out to support on Zentum Trading and we'll take care of it. We'll send you a shirt. I'm not sure if we have a black shirt. We have a dark navy, okay? So make sure you go to Discord, support, and just open a ticket. We'll get it solved. The High Elf says, hi Marco, the indicator looks different on my chart. Did you change something in the settings? Yeah, I did. So for the indicator, you can just copy my settings, okay? This live stream will be recorded, so you can go back and go through the settings. Okay, this is the inputs. So what I have enabled is the recent high, recent low, and then just the broken trails. Okay, high broken trail, low broken trail. That's it. That's the only thing I have. Everything else is disabled. Style is this. I didn't change anything. Visibility, I didn't change anything. So only in the inputs tab, only the recent high, recent low, and the recent breaks. Okay, so NJ, at this point in time, this was last week on a Thursday, we had bullish fundamental analysis for the New Zealand dollar. Okay, we can take a look at that. We can go to the Edge Finder. Let me see if everything is displaying as it should be. Okay, it is. You can see NZ. So pretty much everything is blue, right? You're getting the numbers GDP, manufacturing, services, retail sales, CPI, PPI, unemployment, employment change. Everything is beating the forecast. Everything is beating the expectations. So that is why you're basically seeing such a bullish reading. You can see like 87.5% of these numbers are coming out bullish, which is pretty cool. So for the yen, yen is not doing so well. You can see mostly like a bearish reading. Only 33% of the numbers are coming out bullish. Most are coming out bearish. GDP bearish. Services, PMIs bearish. Unemployment rate bearish. Employed persons bearish. So that was my methodology. Second thing was, what was the environment? That is what I asked myself at this point. So are we in risk off or are we in risk on? And we are, in my opinion, in a risk on environment, meaning the tariff concerns are dying down. You're getting trade deals between the United States and other countries. You had one with the UK, you had one with China, you had sort of a tariff pause on Europe, okay? So a tariff pause on Europe. And that is bullish for the New Zealand dollar. The New Zealand dollar is a currency that relies on economic expansion. And that's actually bearish for the yen. The reason is yen is a safe haven. When there's a crisis, yen goes up. But when everything is good, the yen should, in theory, go down, okay? I looked at the daily chart. The daily chart looked okay. And then I looked at the 1 hour chart, found a nice reversal entry right here. See, this is a reversal entry. A reversal entry is a very simple pattern on the daily or on the 1 hour chart where you get a descending channel. Okay. And then the price reverses to the opposite direction, and then you look for buy setups right here. So that's a bullish pattern. That's exactly what I'm seeing here, or what I saw here. I saw the descending channel. I saw price breaking to the upside with momentum. I placed a pending order on this minor high, got taken in. I used the 90 pip stop loss. Reasoning is I wanted to leave some room for the trade to breathe. Okay, especially with this fundamental strategy, I want to give the trade a lot of room. So I use this swing low as sort of a support area. See, my stop loss is just below the swing low, just below it. And right now what we're seeing is, well, we went up pretty nicely, had some nice bullish momentum, but now we are pulling back a little bit. I have trailed my stop loss for this position. I have trailed it to here, just below this swing low on the daily chart. See, so just below this swing low right here is where my stop loss is. I'm just gonna trail this position. That's the game plan. So if the price does decide to continue up, I'll just be trailing it. Let's do this underneath the swing lows. Here, 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 here. That's the game plan for the New Zealand yen. I do have my alert set. I'm closely watching this high as well, because I may take some off, let's say half of the position off at this high and let the rest run. Still thinking about it. Hopefully we do reach those levels. Okay. So now let's do silver. That was a request from Leslie. Silver, daily chart. Well, the daily chart unfortunately looks pretty flat, corrective and range bound. Let me take a look at the fundamental numbers. So if we go to the top setups, silver, yeah, kind of neutral. What I do like is that the commitment of traders is bullish. Retail is actually bearish, which gives us a bullish signal. And seasonality means that usually in May, silver does gain value. Okay, so if we take a look at the seasonality monthly, you can see that May should be a good month for silver, usually. Yeah, see, usually in May, it's a nice month. So January, what is this? April, May, June, July, August are good months. September is the worst one, according to the seasonality. So fundamentals are kind of overall neutral if you're looking at the bare numbers. What is the overall macroeconomic environment? It is risk on. Okay, if the macro environment is risk on, that means that stocks should go up, metals not so much. Metals such as gold, metals such as silver. Why? Because gold, silver, yen, they kind of act like safe haven assets. Okay, like safe haven assets when there's a crisis. So when there's a crisis, they appreciate in value. Right now, the crisis has kind of passed, in my opinion. You know, stocks are heavily pushing higher with a lot of momentum. We had a crisis here in February, March, and April, but now we have quickly recovered, very quickly recovered. That is the reason why I'm neutral on silver. I'm not looking for buy setups. I'm not looking for sell setups either. Reason is, if we go to, let's say, the monthly chart, do you really want to be a seller when the overall trend is to the upside? You really don't want to be selling into a monthly uptrend, okay? So for gold and silver, I'm either bullish, meaning I'm looking for buy setups, or I am neutral, meaning I'm staying out. Now, I am interested in buy setups if we break these highs. So I have my alerts set. If we can break those highs with a lot of momentum, I will definitely be interested for some buy setups. But I need a break of that upper, let's say, resistance level with some decent momentum. I do believe silver could catch up to gold pretty soon. You know, we had a massive rally on gold, massive rally. See this massive uptrend. Silver, not so much, not so big. So if we compare, for example, XAU USD to XAG USD, let's do it like this. You can see this chart is telling us that gold is currently much more valuable compared to silver. Okay, much more valuable compared to silver. So if we can go back to this area where they're kind of balanced, okay, that means silver could appreciate a lot in value. So silver, very interesting, but only once we break out. Only once we break out of these highs. Only then. Elafi says, I wonder what is your risk to reward on average on your winning trades? So if you're talking about strategies, I have two strategies. For the first one, for the OG strategy, my average risk to reward is around 1 to 5. Okay. Oh, why is the text? Settings. Okay, yeah. For the first strategy, average risk to reward is 1 to 5. For the second one, it's around, or is the 5 to 1? Sorry, probably a 5 to 1. For the second one, I would say probably 1.5 to 1, or maybe a 2 to 1, somewhere around there. So yeah, basically for this strategy, very big risk to reward, slightly lower win rate, meaning around 30%, okay, maybe sometimes even 20%. For this strategy, lower risk to reward, meaning let's say a 2 to 1 or a 1.5 to 1, but 50% win rate, I would say, around 50%. So a higher win rate, which in my opinion is something that's better for our psychology, especially for my psychology. If you have a low win rate and you're taking losing setups for days, for weeks, maybe even for like 2 or 3 months, you're taking only losing setups, that is very tough. That's what happens with swing trading with a low win rate. But with a 50% win rate, it's a bit easier to go through because yes, you'll have losses, but then you'll have more winners. The camera froze. Okay, let's see. Uh-oh. Let me see how I can fix that. Okay. Let's remove it. Sorry about this, guys. I just need to fix the camera. Okay, it should be back now. So if you can just put it in the comments if the camera is back. Let's see. All good. Great. Okay, thank you. Thank you for the heads up. The high elf. Leslie says thank you on silver. No worries. Hopefully that's helpful. So, what do I have on the watch list other than NJ? I have the pound dollar, and I'm currently actively looking for a buy setup here. Okay, I might take one even like, what is happening here? I might take one today. You know, I'll go through it in a bit more detail. First, let me tell you why I'm looking for buy setups. So the first reason is fundamental data. So if we go to the Edge Finder, if we go to economic heat maps for the UK, you're gonna see that it's a pretty good number. Okay, 71.4% of the data is coming out bullish. That means the numbers are beating expectations. The numbers are beating the forecast. You have the forecast here, and the actual number is coming in better than the forecast. That means GDP, services, retail sales, CPI, PPI. Okay, this is coming worse than the forecast, but that's actually bullish for the currency, because if inflation is going higher, that means the central bank should raise interest rates, and that means the value of the underlying currency should actually go up in value. Okay, that is why it's red right here. So it's bullish for the pound, but it's bearish for the UK stock market, which is something you need to know. But I'm looking at the pound because this is a forex pair. This is not a stock, this is a forex pair or a currency pair. So, and the dollar is kind of neutral if I remember correctly. Yeah, the dollar is around 50%, you know, somewhere in the middle. That means I don't really have a big bias on the dollar. I do like the pound though. Elafi says GBPUSD looks great on the daily chart. I'm looking for entries on lower time frames too, maybe tomorrow. Nice, awesome, great to hear that. So the fundamentals are bullish. Macro picture is overall bearish for the dollar. The dollar has been just sliding lower with a lot of force. You know, just massive weakness on the dollar in the past few weeks because of tariffs. So that's good. The daily chart just broke out of this resistance level. Okay, so the daily chart just broke out of a resistance level, closed above and retested it, bounced off. So that gives me a good indication that I should look for buy setups. I think on the daily chart, this is looking very bullish. And if we zoom in, I'm actually seeing a nice bullish pattern on the 1 hour chart. That bullish pattern is a descending channel. Okay, so a descending channel. Why is a descending channel a bullish pattern? Because we expect that the markets are struggling to go lower. Okay, the sellers are losing steam. They can't push the price any lower, and then we finally reverse. Okay, so we keep breaking those lows and retracing, then we reverse to the upside, get some bullish momentum, and then we try to get in here. Okay, unknown name. That's a good question. I'm gonna go through it right after I finish the pound dollar. So I'm also seeing a bullish pattern on the 1 hour chart. I'm seeing some nice bullish momentum here. I'm looking for entry setups. Some entry setups that I like to use. It is a flag. Okay. It is a break and a retest, meaning pullback retest of the high, something like this. It's also a reversal, straight up reversal trade, push up, retest of this high. Looks like this. It is a liquidity sweep as well. A liquidity sweep would be, let's say you get a flat range. Okay, you get a flat range, and then you pierce the lower liquidity and retrace. Grab the liquidity and retrace. Okay, that's a good entry as well. You get in right here. So I'm looking for some entries. I would like a flag here. It almost formed. I'm gonna get in if I get a flag. If we do push higher with momentum like this, I'll get in on a retest. We still have tomorrow, so we still have a full trading day tomorrow. That gives me enough time to find an entry. If I don't get an entry, I won't get in, but I'm sure we'll get something. The entry doesn't have to be that clean for this strategy. Okay, for this strategy, I can tolerate a bit of a worse entry, an entry that doesn't look that clean. I can be a bit more aggressive, a bit more lenient, a bit more tolerant with actual patterns on the 1 hour chart. But everything looks nice. Everything is lining up. I don't see any warning signs with this one, to be honest. I don't see any warning signs. Maybe we're a bit overextended on the daily chart, a bit too far away from the 20 MA. I think it's okay. So now for the question, unknown name. Bro, I'm in that phase of trading where I feel like there's no way out. No one trusts me. I've lost so many relationships, respect, and money. I wonder if I can really become a successful trader. Lately, I've even started to doubt if trading itself is a scam. I'm sharing this with you because maybe you're actually earning from trading more than from YouTube. Okay, so what I can tell you is, first, I'm earning more from my other incomes than from trading. Okay, so if I was solely relying on trading to pay my monthly bills, to pay for vacations, to pay for food, for utilities, for the car, it wouldn't work. Just the income is too inconsistent week on week, month on month to pay all of the bills. So I would suggest to everyone not to make their trading their main source of income. That's the best way to fail, is if you try and make your trading your only source of income. It puts too much psychological pressure on you, okay? And that makes you fail. That makes you over risk, over trade, take some shitty setups, force trades, and eventually blow your whole account. You need to know that even the best traders that work at prop firms, for example, S&B Capital, if you've heard of it, it's a prop firm that basically has all of its income from actual trading. It's a real prop firm, not like FTMO. FTMO is just called a prop firm. It's not a prop firm. S&B Capital is a real prop firm. And even those guys, they have a monthly salary, okay? So they get a monthly salary. So if they have losing weeks, maybe even losing months, they can still pay the bills. They can still cover their monthly expenses with the salary. So even the best of the best of the best of traders don't have trading as their, let's say, main source of income. They have the salary to get them through the tough months. I'm really sorry that you feel this way. I've definitely been in a period where I've personally thought that trading was a scam a couple of times, actually. But in the end, what matters is that you find the right people on, let's say, YouTube. Okay, you need to find the real traders. You need to find the right people to guide you to become a trader. So my recommendation is, first, you can join our free Discord at zentumtrading.com. You can check it out. If you like it, you can become a member. So you have it in the description of the video. But basically, zentumtrading.com is a trading community from Griff, Nico, and me. Okay, Nico has now ceased being a mentor, but he's still in the community. Second, I highly recommend connecting with other real traders in the industry. A great one is Trader Nick. Okay, so Trader Nick on YouTube, absolutely free. If you watch his videos, once per day he posts a market recap of everything that's happening, of his trades, what's he looking at, what's he trading, what kind of entries he's using, and also his live streams are pretty good as well. So I highly recommend you check out Trader Nick, because he's one of the very, very few real traders that I've personally known on YouTube. Most other people they're scammers. You know, they're selling you the dream, making money from courses, living an expensive lifestyle, doing very nice marketing. I'm not gonna lie. They have awesome marketing, and then putting the money from the courses into marketing, attracting more people, scamming them, and that's the circle. So I highly recommend you check out Zentum Trading and Trader Nick. My question would be also, which strategy are you trading? Is it purely technical analysis? Is it fundamental analysis? If you feel like you've hit sort of a rock in your trading, I would say check out fundamental analysis. I think fundamental analysis can really, really help you. Swing trading with fundamental analysis is not that hard. It's kind of pretty simple to learn, but you need to, of course, put in a lot of time. Once you learn it, it's pretty simple to execute. So yeah, that's kind of my advice. Check out fundamental analysis, check out fundamental trading. Trader Nick does a great job of explaining that, and that will help you the most. Okay. Also, don't think have realistic expectations, meaning making 10 to 15% per month is not sustainable. It's impossible on a long run. Making 2 to 5% per month, meaning around 20 to 30% per year, is achievable. And those are awesome numbers. Most people cannot make 20 to 30% per year on a 10-year sample size. It's a great number if you can make that, and it is achievable, but 100% return per year is just not possible on a big sample size. So Elafi says, I understand and I also experienced that. I think if you are still here, that's maybe because you know deep inside there is a good way of learning to trade, which is better than all the scams. You can make money trading, but you can make much, much less than you maybe think, okay? So I'm talking about real percentages. 2 to 5% per month is amazing results. Amazing results. It's a capital problem in the end, because if you have $1 million, 2% per month comes out to a nice income. But if you have $10,000, 2% of that is pretty much nothing. So it's a capital issue, which you can then take care of through prop firms, DarwinX, investors, but it takes a lot of time, it takes a lot of work. If you learn from people saying get rich quick, it is dangerous, I believe, but you will find your style of trading. If you just keep on searching, if you take a look at the things that I just mentioned, and if you really do a deep dive into it, and if you come to terms with realistic expectations, you can become profitable. Yes, Nick with A1 is really fun, and it is such a great community. Yeah, it's amazing. Trader Nick is the best social media trader. Okay. And the only one that's showing you real trading results, a real, let's say, verified track record. All aboard the PlayStation do teach both technical and fundamental analysis in Zentum trading. It is so hard to find real mentors nowadays. I have been following Nick for a while. Currently, our course is focused on technical analysis. Okay, because I'm trading 2 strategies, but we're only teaching the first strategy, which is purely technical analysis inside of Zentum trading. Now, soon I will be making a course for the second strategy, which is connected with the fundamentals, but I'm still live testing the strategy, so I still want to make sure everything is as it should be. I am doing a weekly recap, so I film a weekly recap specifically for Zentum trading, where I go through all of the fundamentals, what I have traded, trades I've taken, and what I'm looking to trade going into the next week. I also share a market forecast every day inside of Zentum Trading Discord, where I say exactly which instruments are looking good fundamentally and technically, any positions that I have or any positions that I'm looking to get into. So for a purely fundamental course, it is still not out. We just have the technical course for now inside of Zentum. Okay. If you guys have any other questions, make sure to put them in the chat. I like this interactive way of doing the live stream. I used to do recaps. Like I used to open OBS, film a recap for 20 minutes, upload it on YouTube, and that was so boring. It was really a boring 30 minutes or 20 or 30 minutes. This is much better with the questions. So the next one that I have, hey Don, what's up? So the next one that I have for you guys is gonna be the DAX. Okay, it is gonna be the DAX. If you don't know, the DAX is the German stock market. This is the German stock market index. Don, hope you're doing well. Top 40 companies in Germany. It used to be 30. Okay. It used to be the top 30 companies, but they bumped it up to 40. So sometimes it's called German 40, sometimes it's called the DAX. If you go to the Edge Finder, for example, and you click on top setups and you put in DAX, that's it. Okay. German stock market index. It is basically the S&P 500 for Germany. A lot of traders trade it. It's very active, very bullish signal right now. Okay, you have a lot of good data coming out. Market environment is currently risk on, meaning the stock markets of the world are going up. You have the NASDAQ, you have the S&P, and also the DAX. Just look at the uptrend. Very nice, very healthy uptrend overall. You also have Europe spending massive amounts of money into the military. If you look at a very popular German company, which is Rheinmetall, this is a company that produces weapons. Okay, so they produce the Leopard tank. I think it is the Leopard tank. Explosion to the upside on this stock because, again, Europe announced massive investments, massive spending into its military. So that's it. That's what happens to companies that produce weapons. And this stock, it must be here inside of the DAX. It must be one of the 40 companies. So the daily chart looks great. Massive uptrend. We had this crash because of tariffs from the lows. We are now up 26%. That's massive. We touched the 20 MA, immediately rejected. I'm actively looking for buy entries on the 1 hour chart. Okay. So, a couple of scenarios. We can go a bit lower. Print the flag, I would get in. We can go back to the all-time highs. Print the flag, I would be in. I was looking for an entry setup here. Couldn't get in. I couldn't really do proper risk management, which is a bit of a problem on my personal account. Yeah, I should deposit more money into the personal account to be able to do a bit better risk management. I'm not going to go into too much details why that is, the risk management, because it's for a whole different video. But trading some indices requires a lot of capital in your personal account. It's not really an issue for prop firms because with prop firms you're dealing with like $100,000 inside of that demo account. But for personal accounts like 10K, 20K, you can have some issues with risk management because you cannot risk less than, I think, 0.1 lots. Anyway, looking for buy setups here. Looks good. NASDAQ. Same thing. So the NASDAQ, I have the same thing. I'm basically looking for buy setups, but I would like to see a bit of a pullback first to this support level preferably. So I'm looking at this support level. If we can correctively retrace into that, pull back. Okay, like this, pull back, reject, get a nice buy setup. I'll be pretty happy to get in. That is my game plan for the NASDAQ. So for NJ, I'm already in. Pound dollar, I'm right now looking for entries. DAX, I'm looking for entries right now. NASDAQ, I need a pullback first. Bitcoin, I need a pullback first as well. So I need a pullback to this support. That is what I'm looking at. Bitcoin looks awesome. I have some long-term Bitcoin holds which are now well in the green, so that's nice. We're touching the 20 MA. See, I like the 20 MA. It gets respected most of the time. When there's an uptrend, usually the pullbacks go to the 20 MA and reject. Touch the 20 MA, reject. So I would like to see us pull back a little bit more like this. Get a buy setup, and I would be happy to get in. Okay, I would be happy to get in right here. So that kind of covers the things that I have on my active watch list. To quickly run through the currencies, let's see what the currencies are doing. Euro dollar actually looks okay. Doesn't look as bad. Euro dollar looks interesting. We're getting some nice momentum. And if you guys have any chart requests, Any questions, you can put them in the chat. Euro dollar looks quite nice. Let me see any news that we're getting. Inflation, PCE, inflation. Okay, I think we have non-farm payrolls next week. We should have non-farm payrolls next week. Usually non-farm payrolls are first a very important news event. Second, they happen on the first Friday of the month. And I think the first Friday of the month should be next week. Let me check. Yeah, should be next week. So seeing a nice pattern here. This looks pretty good. Seeing a descending channel. Seeing a nice push to the upside. Mind you, this is a different strategy that I'm now discussing. This is more of a pure, let's say, how would you say that? Purely technical analysis trade, okay, on the 1 hour chart. Traveler, not sure what that ticker is. Elafi says Euro Aussie. You're bullish on the Euro Aussie. Okay, cool. We'll take a look. Euro dollar looks good here. I'm gonna put it on the watch list. I'm gonna put this little mark on it. I like this momentum. I would say that I'm actively looking for buy setups here. Even the daily chart doesn't look that bad. Looks to be overall trending to the upside. Okay. Pound dollar. Okay, on the pound, I'm looking for entries. We covered that. Aussie dollar, too flat, too corrective, even on the 1 hour chart. EJ, most of the JPY pairs are just not looking good on the 1 hour chart right now. Let's check out the daily charts. Yeah, they're just super flat. Except NJ I did like, so NJ I'm in. Okay. Nothing that interesting on the JPY pairs, but Euro dollar surprisingly looks good. Yeah, I like this. Euro Aussie, let's see it. Euro Aussie. Okay. Euro Aussie. Let me see the daily. Okay. Let's also check out the edge finder. Let me just see this. Edge finder. Euro Aussie. Aussie. Okay. Neutral. Daily is a bit flat here. I personally wouldn't have a bias for this one. Looks flat on the 1 hour chart as well. Starting to break out a little bit. Elafi, could you say why you're bullish on the Euro Aussie? I personally would look for a bit more momentum to break out of this flat range. That's what I would personally aim to see. So a bit more momentum and then an entry setup. That would be much better than this, since we're approaching these highs. And this can very easily reject because it just looks very range bound. It looks very flat. Right here. So yeah, I would personally be neutral, but if you have a different opinion, if you can state the reasons why you're bullish, I would be highly interested. Another cool one is GBPJPY. GBPJPY. I have these levels marked right here. And also if you look at the edge finder, it should be bullish. It should be pretty bullish. GBPJPY. Yeah, very bullish. GJ looks nice. Pretty much everything is in the blue, right? Seasonality trend, GDP, PMIs, retail sales, inflation, employment, unemployment. Only the COTs are neutral and the retail positioning is neutral. I just need a breakout. For me to be bullish on this chart, I would like to see us break out here. So let's put a and alert. Because this is definitely an area of resistance. What I would like to see is, I would like to see a breakout with force and then an entry. A nice buy entry on the 1 hour chart. It would fit the plan. Until it happens, until the actual breakout happens, I'll just remain patient. There's nothing that I can really do until we break out of the range. Same thing as silver. As we mentioned, silver just needs to break out of this flat range on the daily chart. It looks very corrective here, and I don't want to be stuck in the range. If you're possibly trading options, I know with options you can trade a range bound market. You can say, or you can make a bet that silver will remain inside of this high and this low, and then collect the premium, collect income, which is a pretty interesting strategy. This is not something I have access to. I don't currently have access to trading options, and you cannot trade options on prop firms, so it doesn't really make a lot of sense for me to do it because I don't have enough capital. But very interesting stuff that you can do in the markets. So I'm trend trading. I'm trading, what is it, CFDs? Yeah, CFDs on my broker. So looking for breakouts and then for a trend to start. For this sort of a final segment, I want to do a general run through of the most popular pairs. Most of them we already covered, but let's go through those that are still open or that we still haven't covered. Let me just check the stream. Okay, it looks okay. S&P 500. So I mean, same thing as the NASDAQ. It looks pretty much the same. You may be asking, why aren't you looking for buy entries on the S&P, but you're looking for buy entries on the NASDAQ? Well, I kind of chose the NASDAQ because it's a bit more volatile. The return is a bit higher. Of course, the drawdowns are bigger as well, because if you measure the drawdown on the S&P from the peak to the bottom, minus 21, let's say, and on the NASDAQ, let's see, minus 26. So the NASDAQ, the return is bigger, but the drawdowns are bigger as well. S&P, if I was looking at this level, let me see if I would have caught some entries on the 1 hour chart. Let's see that. Yeah, possibly a flag here. Yeah, quite possibly I would have taken a flag here if I was trading the S&P, or maybe a flag right here. This one is looking okay, but I would still stick to the NASDAQ. Both are bullish. Whoop. So let's go back to the S&P. The VIX, if you guys don't know, the VIX is an index of volatility. Measures the volatility of the options market of the S&P 500. The rule is, if the VIX is going up, like it was here, 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 the stock market is crashing. That is the general rule. When the VIX is going lower, that means the stock market should be appreciating, should be going up in value, steadily going up in value. So if you compare this, huge move up, huge move down at the same time. Huge move down, huge move up at the same time. That's how the VIX is connected with the S&P 500. And if the VIX is going up, but the S&P is going up as well, you know that something is very broken. Okay, if both of these are going up or down at the same time, something is off. They should move in an inverse fashion. One should be going up, while the other one should be going down in theory. Elafi says, I still don't have the edge finder for the Euro Aussie. In my style of technical, it broke a resistance plus retail sentiment are very short on this pair, and I had an analysis about the Euro doing quite well. Yeah, for the edge finder, it is quite a pricey software. So yeah, the software is pretty pricey. That's the doorbell, but I'm not going to answer. But what you can do is once per day, Okay, so once per day, you can actually look at a video from Trader Nick, and he does a breakdown of the edge finder. So what you can do is you can open up the edge finder, or not the edge finder, but you can open up his video, and he usually has the edge finder opened in that video as well. So you can take a look what he's looking out for, some of the currencies he's watching, some of the strong, some of the weak currencies, and that should be good. And okay, so Baxter says that they offer payment plans. Yeah, they also offer payment plans. And if you guys wanna support the channel, and if you wanna buy the edge finder, you can use my code. Okay, so my code, you get a discount with my code, is MARKO. So if you wanna buy the actual software, which I highly recommend, and you want to get a discount, you can use my code MARKO. So now let's go to the trade Euro Aussie. In my style of technical, it broke a resistance. Let's see, let's bring it up. Euro Aussie. Up. Okay. Let's see also the retail sentiment, which we can take a look at on the edge finder. Euro Aussie AUD. Yeah, okay, retail is short. That is correct. See, we're getting a +1 for the retail positioning right here, which means retail is short. So we want to do so we want to do the exact opposite of what the retail is doing. That is why you're getting a +1 here. So your analysis is correct. And you had an analysis about the euro doing quite well. Well, if we take a look at the scanner, euro, well, in terms of the actual numbers that are coming out, that's the only thing I can tell you is the euro is bearish. Okay, euro is kind of also very bearish, in fact, very deep in the red. The reason is we had the GDP came out worse than expected. PMIs worse than expected. Services worse than expected. PPI, meaning inflation, better than expected, which is bearish for the currency. Unemployment worse than expected, which is bearish for the currency. So just by the pure numbers, the euro is kind of bearish. Again, you may have a different style of analysis, completely up to you, completely up to what you want to do. But once you pick a style, you must stick to it, because you must stick to that specific style of analysis and your trading edge. You know, you cannot change things up for every single trade. For one trade, you're looking at the edge finder. For another trade, you're relying on some other software. So make sure once you do pick a lane, or pick a strategy, or pick a trading style, or pick a data provider or fundamental data provider, that you just stick to it. So good luck with your buy setup. For me, yeah, just not looking that interesting. But again, that is why the markets exist. You have different opinions clashing with each other. You have some people that are bulls, you have some people that are bears, you have some people that are neutral. Traveler says that he used my code. Awesome, thank you very much. I think I saw you, Baxter, on I have a little dashboard where I can see who signed up with my code, and I think I saw you on there. So thank you very much for using it. Thank you for supporting the channel. It means a lot. Saran says, hi Marco, I see more trade opportunities this month. What do you think? Yeah, I'm just kind of disappointed that, or not disappointed, but I wish gold was exploding higher as it did last month. I know in April I had 2 buy setups on gold, and I made some really decent percentage. I made some really decent percentage on gold. We had a massive uptrend in March and April, even February, even January. From January to May, massive uptrend. So this was full of opportunities for me. Now, yeah, sure. I mean, stocks are flying. That's you're spot on. I would say Bitcoin is flying as well. So I would completely agree with you that there are more trade opportunities, especially if you compare it to, let's say, end of last year, where I didn't find many opportunities, or beginning of this year was a bit tricky for me as well. You can see if you look at the stock market in like January, you know, before we started in January and February, it was pretty flat with the stock market. So this is good. We want to see volatility. We want to see activity. We want to see trends on the daily chart. That's exactly what I'm seeing. I just wish that gold was going up more. Okay. I wish gold was going up more. Elafi says, yes, that's the hard part. Sometimes I feel like it's good, but in fact, not really. Thank you for your analysis. It helps seeing different points of view. Yeah, no worries, Elafi. So I highly advise watching Trader Nick's video once per day. He opens up the Edge Finder. You can get the data kind of for free, you know, as a starter until you maybe save up for the real thing to kind of test it out. I think the Edge Finder is great in terms of fundamental data. Like these tables, and you can get all of these, meters to see which currencies are good, which are bearish. For example, I'm long the New Zealand, okay? I'm looking to be long the pound. See, both are highly in the blue. I'm short the yen. See, it's in the red. I'm gonna be probably short the dollar. It's kind of neutral, approaching the red zone. So this is pretty good, and why I trust the Edge Finder is because there's so much freaking data that it's pulling in, you know, so much data. And the biggest reason why I trust it is because I've been watching Trader Nick for, I think, a year or 2 years now. I've seen his track record. I've seen his live trades. I've seen the wins. I've seen the losses. I've seen the good. I've seen the bad. And the guy really knows to trade, okay? He really knows how to make money in the markets. He doesn't make a whole bunch of percentage, but he makes steady percentage every month, and the monetary gains are massive. I think he's making like $100,000 or $200,000 in a year, something like that. So that gives me confidence to follow his software because I know it works because he's using it to make money in the markets. Let's see, we still have a couple of things I want to run through until I close the stream. So if you guys have any last minute questions, last minute chart requests, you can put them in now because in 5 minutes I'll probably be closing the stream. I need to go to the seaside. Silver, I mentioned. Looking for a breakout to the upside. Ethereum is interesting. Kind of trickling to the upside, you know, struggling to go up, but still climbing higher. So Ethereum could be going up even more. I mean, it should follow Bitcoin, and Bitcoin has been extremely bullish, as you can see. So if Ethereum can catch up to Bitcoin, it would be great. I have some long-term holds. on Ethereum as well as Bitcoin. I have much more Bitcoin than Ethereum. Can we do a chart comparison? BTC USD compared to ETH USD. Can we do that? Yeah, I can't really see much from this chart. I mean, Bitcoin has just gained a lot of value. Okay, maybe if we go to the monthly. Interesting. We're kind of in the middle, to be honest. Yeah, not such a good chart. The one where we compared the price from Bitcoin to silver was much better. Or not Bitcoin to silver, but gold to silver. Okay. But I like to see some activity. You know, Ethereum has been looking really bad in the last couple of weeks. Hopefully it's gonna recover. Elafi says, do you do dollar cost average on Bitcoin? Yes, but if I see a good opportunity. So if we're in a bear market, I'll try to get in, or if we are starting to break out, I'll try to get in as well. So for example, and I'm focusing on stocks much more for long-term investments. Okay, stocks are number one. Crypto is something on the side, on this breakout. Okay, we just broke out of this high right here. So I think I bought somewhere on this candle, which is playing out nicely right now, but it used to be around break even for quite some time. So if we do break out even more here, might not be such a bad idea to buy some more long-term holds. Possibly. So I don't really do dollar cost averaging. No, I wouldn't say I do dollar cost averaging on Bitcoin. US oil, flat. The last couple of live streams, I told you I was looking for buy setups on US oil. I'm not really looking for any. Okay. Just kind of looks flat here, looks stuck between the high and the low. Fundamentals, if we take a look, let me see, top setups, US oil, let's take a look. Bullish, okay, we're getting a bullish reading, but still I'm not seeing the momentum. I'm seeing kind of flat price actions, so I'm not that interested. I would first need to see some breakouts. Can we paint a trend line? Sure, we can paint a trend line here. So if we do break out of this upper trend line with some momentum, I think that could be a nice play. If that doesn't happen, I'll just be patient. So oil, not on the watch list, not looking that interesting. The daily chart, the daily chart looks a bit flat. DXY looking bearish, moving lower, looking very bearish. JXY kind of in no man's land here. So DXY is the dollar index. It compares the strength of the US dollar to other currencies, relative to other currencies. JXY compares the value or the strength of the Japanese yen to other currencies, to a different basket of currencies. Okay, so yeah, pretty cool indicators right here. DXY very bearish, JXY kind of neutral here. I can't really make up my mind. US 10-year yield is pretty flat right here. Moving lower, which is good. Okay. For the let's say the strength of the US economy, for the strength, not the US economy, but for strength of the United States, you want to see this go lower because then the US can repay its debt for a much cheaper interest rate or a much cheaper payments, because this is sort of the interest rate that they need to pay. Okay, this is the interest rate. If this chart goes lower, then they need to pay much less in interest payments on the loans that they have taken out. The United States has a major problem with debt. I made a quick video about it on my channel, like a short form video. Trump and his administration, their big goal was to make this go much lower. Okay, their big goal was to make this drop heavily, to have better terms to repay the debt. Unfortunately, they tried to do it, but they screwed up the whole stock market. They screwed up the stock market. It didn't work at all. I think they have decided against that right now, so they have a different approach. I think in the future, in the next few weeks, in the next few months, in the next 3 years or 4 years, I think they're gonna aim to pump up the stock market, and they're just not gonna give a damn about the debt. Okay, I think they're just gonna keep raising the debt, accumulating the debt, so the United States national debt will just keep growing, but so will the stock market. That's gonna be the game, in my opinion. Interesting, pretty interesting chart to look at. Okay. last thing I'm gonna leave you with, if this chart goes up, the United States will be in major trouble. Okay, major trouble if this chart heavily goes up, because then the debt that they need to repay will be extremely expensive. That's about it. So thank you guys very much for watching. We're gonna wrap it up right here. If you guys want to get updates on these live streams, so when I stream, you can find me on Instagram, Marcos Trading Journey. That's my handle. So you can use my Instagram. I post a story, I post an update when the next live stream will be. So make sure you follow me there. If you guys want to check out the zentumtrading.com for free, you can do that. So let me go to the Edge Finder, put Zentum Trading. See, that's it. If you just copy the link. Yeah, see you guys next week on Thursday. Thank you, Alafi, for watching. Thank you, everyone else, for watching as well. Thank you very much for the questions. You too, Alafi. Have a great rest of the week. And also, everyone else, have a great rest of the week. I will see you guys in the next live stream and in the next